On a Thursday in July, I meet J. Aschoff, an astronomy professor at Williams College, outside Pasadena's Art Center College of Design. It's a few hours before the opening of Eclipse, an exhibit he co-curated, featuring artifacts from eclipse expeditions dating back to the 1800s, alongside NASA projections and contemporary eclipse-related art. With more than 33 total and 67 partial eclipses under his belt, Aschoff is the world's foremost chaser, a leading solar astronomy researcher, and a kind of guru for the chaser community, which looks to him for guidance on everything from the proper equipment to how to plan chasing trips. Aschoff is buzzing with excitement, nearly bouncing when I take his photo in front of a collection of oil paintings. His grey hair is neatly trimmed, and he's wearing a batik shirt he bought in Indonesia during the last total eclipse. The art center is packed for his opening lecture introducing the exhibit. I see a man wearing a concert-style t-shirt that lists all his eclipse sightings. People are perched on bureaus at the side, and the staff brings out in more chairs, once, then twice. In 1959, Aschoff was a freshman at Harvard when his astronomy professor borrowed a Douglas DC-3 airplane from Northeast Airlines and took a dozen of his students to Marblehead, Massachusetts to fly through an eclipse path. Now, as a solar scientist, Aschoff views eclipses as vital scientific opportunities to address lingering questions about the temperature of the corona and how magnetic fields can change its shape, information that can help protect astronauts against solar radiation in space. And thanks to his research, Aschoff often gets to venture farther than other chasers. In Gabon in 2013, he calculated a path to reach the centerline of totality, but when he and his research team arrived, the group was warned not to travel to the centerline for fear of being trampled by elephants. In a video of that eclipse, you can hear onlookers shouting and ululating during totality. 2 years ago, in Svalbard, a group of islands between the North Pole and Norway, Aschoff and his students were confined to an area within 2 kilometers of town because of the dangers of polar bears. Like Aschoff, many chasers caught the bug during childhood or adolescence. Joe Rao, a meteorologist in Westchester, New York, first saw a total eclipse in 1972, at age 16, after his grandfather announced that his own eclipse viewing in 1925 was the greatest experience of his life. The family piled into Rao's parents' beat-up Plymouth Fury and drove 800 miles north to Canada. You never forget your first kiss, you never forget when you make love for the first time, Rao says. And you never forget that first moment when you bask in the shadow of the moon. A year after his first eclipse sighting, Rao met Glenn Schneider, also a teenage eclipse enthusiast, at New York City's Hayden Planetarium. The two have now been friends for more than 40 years and have seen 4 eclipses together. Rao analyzes weather maps, while Schneider charts the path of totality and creates flight plans for aircraft looking to get into the eclipse path. Schneider is also an astronomer, but he doesn't chase eclipses for scientific pursuit. He says he does it purely for the experience. His first eclipse completely overwhelmed me, he says. I'd read about it for years, but it kind of beats into your soul. When it was over, I was literally shaking. Those 3 minutes changed my life forever. Advertisement continue reading below. This is life's greatest natural special event, says Noel Filipenko, an interactive event designer and eclipse chaser who saw her first in 2001 in Zimbabwe, the same eclipse Russo watched from Madagascar. She watched the skies darken, setting off birds calling, gnats buzzing, and water buffalo returning to their homes, with about 130 other people. You get this hour-long build-up before totality, she says. It's kind of like an orgasm, with the pent-up excitement for a long time leading up to it. She and her husband, Berkeley astronomer Alex Filipenko, got engaged at the 2005 eclipse in the South Pacific and gave the daughter the middle name Corona. And it goes like this. Marriages, deaths, births, graduations, continents visited. For chasers, says Fred Espenak, a retired NASA astronomer who's seen 27 total eclipses. The major events in your life are all reference-pointed by eclipses. Espenak met his wife at an eclipse in 1995 in India. When he loaned her a camera tripod, the couple quickly realized they had walked past each other at an eclipse gathering in Quebec almost 20 years before. Next Monday afternoon, most Americans will be able to see a partial eclipse, but that's nothing compared to the real deal, chasers say. You have to get into the path of totality, says eclipse-profile founder Kramer. It's like the eye of God suddenly looks down on you and says, "What's up?" I tell people to see the partial if that's all you can do, says Noel Filipenko. But if there is any way you can make the trip to get into totality, do it. A partial eclipse doesn't offer the same atmospheric effects as totality. The changes in temperature, wind, barometric pressure, and the awe-inspiring visuals, like the Bailey's beads effect, when sunlight shoots through the moon's crater-filled surface, eventually leaving a diamond-like sparkle at one side. This is what usually sets off uncontrollable reactions in viewers: goosebumps, tears, an adrenaline rush, screams or whimpers. Some people start giggling, others start swearing, says Kramer. Others get meditatively quiet, says Noel Filipenko.